Hey, how you doing? Let's do it to it. Alright. This is in Venice, 1903. It's called the Bishop's Gambit. In a gambit opening, the candidate rule for each player is to rid their basically their most men out, get their men out the most, and discard this policy when it comes to sometimes you have to just go all berserk on it, which that means just go all out on the attack. And sometimes you just gotta just develop no matter what, even if you have to sack material. Just make sure that your sacking material is worthwhile though. So don't just sack material for sacking material's sake. So e4, e5, f4, pawn takes, f4, bishop c4, d5, bishop takes, rook h4 check. This is old-fashioned move, still had a strong venom that at the turn of the century. Nowadays, knight b3 is actually, let me see here. A knight king b3 is the move that is normally played because it attacks both these points. But he played the old turn of the century, not be it before 1900 actually. 19 see this is a game 1903. This was before 1900. So king to b1 or f1, pawn g5, b4, bishop g7, and 1 second. Alright, so and is that got it. So knight c3. I just wanted to make sure I had this right. Knight to e2. Knight f3. Queen h4, or h5 I mean. Pawn to oops, sorry, wrong one there. h4. Queen to d3. Queen knight to bd6, and then knight e2. Knight actually, e5 has actually been played before in this position. Black can simply play king to, oops, wrong knight, sorry. Delete that. So knight here, king d1, this is what they're talking about. He also could just castle here and rely on his attacking chance, super development, to cut out the minus of a pawn here. So 97, alright, 92. Bishop e7. Queen to b3. Let me get a sip really quick. This is what Frank Marshall said. I had foreseen this move, but did not think it was worthwhile to guard against. In a position of this character, it is a tempting fate to take the queen away from the defense and to neglect one development. White would have continued with, we could continue with queen, bishop d2. You could try king f2 also, and then bishop d2. Connecting the rooks would be playable, but he just went berserk, I guess, and didn't think that d takes or knight takes d5 was playable, I guess, and then pawn takes, knight to e7, and then for some reason he just went, hey, how you doing? He just went odd and just went boom like that. It's like, really? Are you serious? For real? This was actually a mistake. He should have thought about maybe something different. Maybe this holds on to the pawn, so potentially maybe bishop d2 might be better, trying to get the rook into e1, and then attacking up. But that's just too greedy in my opinion, way too greedy. And also allows black to castle, and he doesn't mind even if he drops the second pawn. He played pawn to c3. This is also to allow the infiltration basically back in here, because he's going to be attacked. Yeah, the queen rook comes over, and if you attack there, he can go like the queen takes a7. And the only problem with taking here he was talking about is that bishop to b5 could actually be played with an exclam mark. You could play c4, and then knight takes the pawn, exclam, queen to queen to c5 to take advantage of these two attacking points. The king rook actually goes, or rook c8 goes to c5. I mean c8. And that move is an exclam move. So 3 back-to-back exclam moves for black. queen takes knight, and then bishop takes pawn, followed by eventually the rook coming to actually right here, and then you got an attack on this knight. So the next move would be this with an attack here. That's the name of that tune. Okay. So the queen took with the rook, bishop to b5, queen c5, bishop takes check, king takes, and then pawn to g4. Now if the knight went to e1, if this session was played, pawn d6, that's what was played. But if knight e1, then he has knight takes the pawn with a winning attack to boot, with knight coming in here, and it's or maybe even just pushing with a winning attack would be also playable. But he played d6, trying to justify the attack. In view of the exploited state of the white king, white would be happy to exchange queens even at the cost of a piece. With several pawns for the knight, he would have a good chance in the endgame, but it never came to that. That's what Marshall said. Pawn takes, knight check, pawn takes, knight to f5. That's an exclam. Pawn takes, and knight to g3 check. This appeared risky, but proved to be quite a formidable white's response is actually forced here. King to d2. Queen takes f3, threatens mate. So rook threatens mate here. So if he were to take here, you can play queen like this here. That's mate. So rook e1 was forced. So these are all forcing moves. Promote. Queen rook goes to e1, rotates rook, still threatening mate. It is comical to see how many white basically advantage. He has all these pawns. He has 4 pawns. Actually 5 passed pawns, but it means nothing when mate's in the air. King to c2, queen to queen to e4 check, queen to king b3, queen e7, king b2, queen to e4 check, king to b3, king to king to b7 check, king to b2. I'm gonna ask you, what do you think the move? He can't play back here because that'd be a threefold repetition. What would black play here? What would black play here? It's a double exclam. Almost. Think even deeper than that. Think even deeper. Think really deep. Think tempo gain. How would you gain a tempo here? How would you gain a tempo here? I'll give you a minute to think about it. Yeah, that's a good effort. I'll show you. It's actually bishop f8, double exclam. It's a tempo gainer on white. Because what happens now if he tries to queen? It wouldn't work because the bishop blocks, and you can take if you ever needed to. You could take anyways, I understand. But this also helps to start a chain attack with rook e2. Now rook e2 is playable, and this queenie move doesn't have any teeth anymore. And when the king comes here, you could just keep bringing in or like on the Return of the King, you could keep reforming the lines. What Theoden says, reform the lines, that's kind of what we're doing. That's what the bishop f8 does, is it reforms the lines so that you can do a big time attack. It's an important gain of time. Its value will be proved on move 34. So in 5 moves you'll see the reason this move was vital. So queen to c4, rook to e2, kaboom, check. Bishop d2, rook takes bishop, bang. King takes bishop, king takes rook, and then queen takes pawn, check, kaboom. Now we don't really have to worry about the queen here because we're going for the takedown. King to d1. Queen takes, rook check. What he's saying is if the king had actually gone to d3, you have queen e2 mate. If king e2, you have queen takes, check, king f2, knight to e4 check, king e2, queen to b2 check, king d3, knight to knight to f2 is mate now. Because his pawn takes it, this there attacks, and the queen covers here. So all of this stuff's covered. That's why he played king d1, and this is his last kind of ditch effort to hold on by the, as they say, the chin of his chinny chin chin. It's not going to work though. King c2, knight to f5, queen a4. They're saying that as a result, black's 29th move white can't queen with a check if he plays pawn to c8 check. I mean pawn c8. Pawn to c8 equals queen, I mean. The following would actually elapse if he did. So if you just queened, you thought, yay, I want a queen. Following knight to e3, king d, and queen to c1. I think they said that wins easy. Oh, hold on, my bad there. 1 second. Wrong spot there. Queen d1. Followed by if he tries running up the board, followed by oh, what is, nope, that can't be right. Oops, sorry, that's wrong way. Sorry, not this way here. And I'm thinking, hold on, no. It says it's winning. I'm trying to see where he says it's winning at. I check there. King D. 3. Oh, queen to oh, I gotcha. Queen here. And that wins. Because when he comes up, you can actually grab the, and then if he grabs here, and you win. That's it. Okay. I got you now. I feel ya. King c2. Knight there. G4. Knight to e3 check. And white resigned. For if king to d2, then we have queen to come on. Queen to b2 check. King to d3. Queen to b1 check. Exclam. King d2. D2. Queen to knight 2 check. Queen d7. That's interesting. So it'd be like a mating setup here. Oh yeah, king e1 leads to a mate and 3 with check. Thinking, let me see. Well, we'll work on. It says there's mate there, but when you work it out, sometimes it's. So I'll have to erase here and put the next mark on our thing, and then we'll. So, do you want to start with mate and 3s or mate and 2s? Mate and 3s or mate and 2s? Alright. Let's do it to it. There we go. Let's do it to it. Got it. Do you have it? Yep, there you go. If king takes, there's your mate, first mate. King comes up, there's your second mate. Yep, you got it. You gotta rise above it. If you can do it, rise above it. Yes, we can. It's cool. It's a cool running song. I like that. You have to. They didn't let their sitch get them down. They didn't settle for second fiddle. Okay, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 1. Okay. There we go. Let us see what do we got here. Yep. Queen there. That's the first mate. I was going to check to see if this has mate, but I don't think so because he's going to come here. I was checking to see, and then if you come there, he takes. So there's no mate there. I was looking at to see if there was a third mate. I don't think so. I don't think there's any other mate besides that. Okay. Onward and upward. To the next one we go. Bishop, knight, queen, and then knight, and then the king. Knight, knight, queen. 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 1. Okay. Got it. We'll see if you got it. White to move. We'll see if you got it. This should be a good one for you. Yep. You got it. You got it. There you go. And it happens to the best of the chess players. You can never underestimate your move, because sometimes it might be the move that tips the tide of the battle. And so. So 2, 1, 2. Oops, I didn't put black king there. 3, 1, 3, 1, and 3. Yep. Okay. Let me see here. Yep. Yep, there you go. You got it. Uh-oh. Oh, missed that, that he actually has a, nope, that's not it. Sorry, I was wrong. He could take. Okay, we need to retry that again. It's queen takes, rook takes, and then, nope, that's not it. What was that I had? I had one idea. Let me see, what was that? Ah, maybe it's queen check here, queen takes. Then nope, that he still has a flight square to go to. There. That's not it. here's covered, there's covered. If we check here, he's got that. So he's got here if we check. Maybe it's c4. If queen takes c4. No, that can't be right. The king could take there. Ah, that's it. Queen e4 check. Queen e4 check. If queen takes, bishop there, check. If bishop takes, not that. Should be 6. There we go. We got him. If rook takes, then knight check. So there's 4 checkmates. I'll tell you when we switch over to the mate 3s, okay? Let's see, what do we got here? Oops, I almost forgot a pawn. 2. Oops, another pawn almost. I almost forgot another pawn. So 2, 3, 1, 1, 5, 1, 3, 1. c6, king takes c6, knight takes. There is check and mate. Yep, you got it. And then if king d4, you can actually deliver mate with queen to c4. Yep, c4 works. Yep, there we go. One more, then we enter in to the mate threes. One more before we go into mate 3. One more. Yeah, the bishop. Let's go. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oops, I almost forgot the king. I knew I forgot something. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 1. Oops, forgot a queen. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 1, 2. Okay. I gotta erase this. Put it on the next one. Turn it to the next page. Boom. There's your mate. Okay, now we've entered the realm of mate and 3. Get ready to rumble. It is time for the big takedown moves. Yeah, gotta love it. Like Cannibal Smith says, I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, let's do some pawn moves here. Two, 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 three, three, 2, 4, and 3. Oops, almost forgot a rook. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 4, and 4. Okay. Be right back. I'll give you a chance to take a look at it. Be right back. I'll make this a little bigger so you can see it. There you go. see. Knight h7. King g8. Rook takes. Knight takes. And knight h6 is mate. Nice work. One down. 5 to go. Some players just don't resign. And you get games like those. Oops, sorry about that. I had something on my glasses. Don't forget about the queen. Don't forget about the queen. There's 2 checkmates. One's with the queen and one's with the rook. We can't forget about Her Majesty. Majesty is very important. She needs to be part of the time too when we go for the KO. She's a vital part of that. Let's see what we got here. 3, 3, 4, 3, 2, 4, 3, 3. Okay. We are good to go. Hip hip hooray. Happy day. Yeah, I got it. Yep, got it. Got it. Knight check. King there, knight here. Pawn takes, mate. That's it. We got her. Hey, how you doing? Glad to see you back. Oh. Okay, well, I'll have to post some more of those then. We'll get those posted, not to worry. Yeah. Two, okay. Just want to make sure I got that. So 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 4, and 3. Okay, good. Mate 3. For white. Mate 3 for white. So rook takes. F king, F5. Then E4. Yeah, it's actually mate 2 in that one. That's odd. So it takes. And then knight F6. Knight F6 is he has to actually play yep. King F5. And then I'm thinking E4 is mate, yeah. There's 3 different mates. Great find there. Let's see, 1, 2, 2, 1, 4, 2, 2, and then 4 is right there. There we go. Wow, he's close to mate here. Let's see. So, check, takes, queen check, and then g4. Okay, that works. Let's do one more, and then we're good to go into endgame. Gotta love the endgame. Yep, you got it. Great work there. Great job, team. Great job. We're doing good. Oops, come on. Work with me here. Work with me. Let's see if we have it. So 3, 1, 2, 4, 2, 2. Oops, I almost forgot the king. Ooh, and a knight. That would be good. And the king. So let's try this again. 3, 1, 2, 4, 2, 2, 3, and then 4. Perfect. This is the last one, and then we'll get into our end game. Alrighty. Oops, I almost forgot to put my little tag in there. There we go. I'll get the end game book ready. Jen Missilman. Oh, nice. You have F7 or H6. Who got F7? Rook F7. Who got Rook F7? Did anybody get Rook F7? Checkmate. Oh, only H6. Okay, perfect. Oh, that's okay. Hey, you know what? You both got it. Well, I was wondering if one of you guys did. Then I realized, yeah, because one, I thought one had uh, Rook F7, but they're the same, and that's not a problem. That's good. We're doing good. All right. So, okay, yay, good job, team. Good job. Okay, so you have two puzzles for us to work on Chess 360. uh, Gotta always have fun with chess. That's the whole thing. All right. So now that we got our game and our puzzles gone through, we can do two. And then we can do our end game. We're almost to the end of the book. I'm getting excited to see what happens when we get into the Grand Master part. There's even a Grand Master part that Jeremy Soman has, and I'm very excited to see. I went through it before. I'm always excited to go through the end game because I really like the end game. I haven't went over the book for a little bit, and so it's fun to review all the stuff that I've gone over before. It's so much fun because then you're like, I remember that. I remember that when my grandmaster teacher taught me this. I remember that, and it's really cool to have a remembering of where you started to where you are now. That is cool. Ooh, nice. So we're doing a pawn game and it's black to move. Okay. Hold on. Yeah. Well, that's what my grandmaster teacher told me, that chess is taught in reverse, that you should learn your end game and then move towards your opening. And then what my grandmaster teacher did was, I asked, why are we just doing end games of course, when I first started out, I remember that we laugh at that. Um, but what happened was, he says, I'll show you how a middle game works. They started adding pieces. This is a middle game. Then I'll add more, and we were in the end game. He says, see how when I take them off, we go into the middle game, and then when I take more off, we go into the end game. So why not start the end game and then learn that way? I was like, hey, that makes sense. So I took that to heart for the rest of my chess career, and here I am today. Hey, there's a Andrew Solstice book that I believe it was Niall Short when he first began. His mother bought him a chess book, and he read the whole chess book in a day. And he said he had a headache, and his mother would turn to a page, and he knew exactly what was on the page. So a headache isn't a bad thing. It means that the information's getting into your long-term memory, and it's like kind of like teething. When you're first a child, you teeth, and it's not a fun experience. The children cry when they're teething, but when it's over and you have all your teeth in, then you're able to rather than milk, as I like to say, you can eat meat. But until you get teeth, you're not going to be able to eat meat. Okay. So black to move here. Oh boy, let me see. Okay, so endgame. First of all, if we go king g5, king, so king g5. Well, it's as Jeremy Silverman would say, all king and pawn endgames are confusing unless you know the chess flowcharts that we priorly went over. Okay, so here, there, and then if we played there, pawn takes, king takes, he takes, actually he takes here. Okay, so that's not what we would really enjoy doing. Because here, here, I think that's it. I think first of all it's h4. When g takes h4, you play f4. He doesn't have to take. So, but if he does take, then g3, and if f takes, then e3, and there's no way to stop it in time. I'm kind of looking at is if he plays f4 right away, e takes, then we can play h4. If he takes, then we can play g3. If he comes up, then we push. There we go. I got it. I got it. I have it right now. Promote. It's f4. Pawn f4. Am I right? Chess 360. Do I have it right? f4. Oh, king d5. You probably have h, and there's takes. It takes. Then you can actually go h3. Okay, I got it. h4. You can go h4. If king takes e, f takes e, and if pawn takes, then if he pushes here, then what you can actually do is go h3 if you wanted to. And if he takes, then you have g2, and there's no way to stop that from happening. There's so many different ways to win here. Which way did the book say to win? Did I have it right with h4? Do I have... And then if is it so it's f takes. Okay, so Okay, I see. Okay. Oh no, don't tell me. Are we stalling again? I dislike when it does this not response. For some reason, that's just a pain in the drain. So h4 takes f takes king f3. Not again. Why me? It's like, for real? But I gotta say that the Lord actually does something. Sometimes the Lord will put you in a situation to see how you'll act. And you know what? We're gonna be patient. We're gonna be good soldiers. Chess soldiers. And it'll eventually come back on. So you just have to be patient. And it'll come back on. Just got to be really patient. I'll just take it while it's oh good. Well, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, this makes more sense. Well, then, you know what? It's always, I figure this, that you know what? The Lord was patient with me. So I have to learn patience, like in James. You have to be slow to speak, slow to wrath, and quick to hear. And it's also a good thing for when you're wanting to. I think we can still it still gets stopped though. I think the same thing happens though. So maybe we have to play f3. I'm thinking f3 has to be played here. And then when pawn takes, then we can play h3. And now this actually works because there's no time for him to get it. Yep, that's it. Okay, so h4, king takes, f3 is vital because what that does is that makes it so that there's a pawn and we get that one. Remember the tempo that we needed before with blocking the bishop? We sacrificed the bishop so the king would be here so we can get that one move. Remember when the pawns were like this, and then there was a bishop here. Remember that? And the black our pawn was right here. Our pawn was right here. And so we had a bishop here that came. The king took, or sorry, right here. Actually, we had a bishop here. The king took, we pushed, and then when the pawn was able to be pushed, oops, not that far down, here we were able to queen last time. And the same principle here, when we get h3, he takes, and we get the one move that we need that there's no way to stop. We queen. Is that correct? Was that the correct move line? Chess 360, was that correct? Huh. So, okay. So F4, double exclam. Then let me get a look at this here. I'm going to take a look there. Okay. King D5, so that's right. King D5. H4. King takes. F3 exclam. Perfect. It takes, then H3. Yep, there we go. Oh, perfect. Okay, so do you have another one for us to work on as a team? Perfect. These are fun ones. I like doing endgame puzzles. You just have to calculate, and when you go into it, make sure that you're, like what we talked about, 100% sure that you've entered in under your terms, not your opponent's terms. Because we got to see a couple end games where when you entered on their terms, it ended up a draw or maybe even a loss. That wouldn't be fun. Okay, F4 is forced. So F takes. King E4. Excuse me 1 second. Swallowed wrong. Ugh. Hate when that happens. Okay. I'm wondering if it's not if D5 King D5 King a5, king b. So that wouldn't work. I'm thinking f4 has to be right. Takes. I think it's a draw. Let's see, king here. So that wouldn't work. Am I on the right track with f4? Okay. Then let me see here. Well, this is a tough one. Maybe I have something here. Is that it? Okay, D6. I did have that then. So A5, G3, so here it takes D6, A5, oh, G3, okay. A6, okay, C7, okay, A2, and D3. No, it works. You got it. You got it. D3, yep. Okay, oh, I got what you're saying. Can you see C5, right? Not C5, C7. Yep, there you go. Okay, now we'll enter into our end game. That was fun. Alright. Let's go to board editor and start into our end game. This is a game between B, A, C, R. White to move. I have to get it set up now. Okay, let's see here. So 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, and then 2. Okay. Wait to move. Oops, I have to turn into a steady. Drat. Turn it into a study for me. There we go. Okay, this is what it says. White is 2 pawns up and clearly winning, yet claiming a theoretical win and actually proving it can often be two different things. In the present situation, White has many moves. White could actually play b5. He can also play h4, but these aren't the best move. There's only one exclam move. What move would you say is an exclam move? I'm gonna throw it into your court, my chess friends. What is the exclam move for White? What is the exclam move for White? You are White, my chess friends. What is the move that White is going to play? Yes. That is an excellent move. Nice job. That's a tough one to see, because you have to say to yourself, we're trading into an endgame. Is that, without rooks, is that what we want? And yes, from our knowledge of rook takes and pawn takes, we now have the 2 pawn idea, and once they reach the 5th, we're winning, and these 2 pawns can protect themselves until our king could get involved, and our king is close enough, and these pawns aren't a threat, and we're winning. So g5 was actually played here. This is what he says. Best, but the 2 sets of doubled isolated pawns will demand a skill from White before he gains a full point. So these double pawns will gain, that we're talking about here, these ones, he has to take advantage of. If you find yourself facing a decision like this and you have any doubt about the king and pawn endgames, the resounding resolution is to avoid it like the plague. So if you're not sure, and you have this here, and you're not really sure if this is a good move or not, and you kind of like, do I want to go into e5, and if I'm not sure, do I not, what do I do, something like that. You have to say, is it worth it? And if you're not 100% sure, don't enter the endgame, because you don't want to enter a lost endgame just because you're not sure. Sometimes, like what he's saying, is you can play h4, even if he plays rook e4, you can push h5 and then undermine this structure here. Undermine after he takes, you take it, and then you win all these pawns. And you can even block, and then we come down to a winning endgame. But Kramnik, who was, I think this was Kramnik, no, his opponent, Kramnik's opponent, understood the principles that this is still winning. It just takes crafty play. And Kramnik plays the really nice move that I like, is g5. This stops the king from, for a little bit of time, participating. But White has to be really cautious here. Very cautious. He doesn't want to move incorrectly and allow the basically black to get these pawns and then win. One second. Excuse me. A drink of water. Whoa. Sorry. Sometimes I get a cough and it's like, ugh, very irritating. I'm better now. Okay, stops white from infiltrating and gaining counterplay by setting up his own pawn majority in motion. Black's doing this. If the completely hopeless is actually if he doesn't play that but he plays e7, this is actually completely hopeless after f4. Excuse me. King e6, then h4 is really strong, h6, c5, king d5, h5, h takes, king takes f5, king takes c, and then e, d6, king d, king x, oh, king f6, yeah. And if he tries pushing, we just come up, and there's no way to stop this from coming to pass. And he has to actually walk on this diagonal. Well, I guess he doesn't have to. He could play here. But then we pick up a pawn. And if he plays here, we check. He plays there. Then we actually have a7 that could be played. And if he tries basically checking, we can actually just move the king. And if he tries checking, and if they try checking, then this fails because now we've infiltrated. 1 second. Wow. Sorry. So that's why it's a winning game. So this is the only way that Kramnik can hold. White plays c5. The material in part 5 shows we've already taught you that the side by side pass pawns separated by one file guard themselves. That's what we just talked about. King e6 is met by king e6 is met by c6, and if king takes e4, or he takes, we play c7 leads to a new queen for white and a win. That's why he played h6 after we played c. He played h6. And this is the new line that we're working on, h6. So c4 was actually played here, and then he played h5, trying a waiting move like king d8. Also fails to king to e2, king e7. Let's see where. Okay, so here, let me make sure there it is. c6, e6, c5, king e7, king d4, g4, king d5, f4, king e6, f3, e takes f, g takes f, c, f2, queens, queens, f7 check, king f6, and then f7 check, king g5, and then you pick up the queen and you write a 1 on your side and a 0 on your opponent's side at that point, because there's no coming back after that. So that's why h5. So now we played h4, g4. Black gets no hope after takes here. If he takes, then king g2, and by king g3 or h3, he wins easily, and then he'll just gobble these pawns up. So if you try something like this, you just come in and gobble gobble. There's nothing you can do. These pawns protect themselves, and we're good to go. As we have learned in our lesson, we're good to go. King f4, king f4, king e6, and then remember c6. We do the, because when he goes one side, he has to go back. So if he decides not to go e6 but do a waiting move again, a similar line happens. c6, king c7, e6. Remember, if he takes, we actually oh, wait a second, hold on. I thought it said e7. It was actually c7. E, king takes, c5. Now these 2 points of entry are blocked. King c7, e3, king c6, and then king e5. And if he tries pushing, we've learned that you queen would check and potentially it's a draw. e6. If d8 here, then e6, and it forces a new queen is a clear matter. So if he plays there, hold on, what did I do something? Hold on, let me make sure I have this right. G5H, there, 6, C6, A7, C5, A6, C7, exclam. The key to the position is white gives up his pawn so his e-pawn can march down the board with a tempo. So king d7, a6 check, King takes a3. Exclam. Actually, this is an exclam move. Your opponent may think you've kind of lost it when you've given up your piece like that. You know, they'll think, what in the world? Did they just blunder? Nope. They didn't blunder. We know what we're doing. We know our end game. We know what we're doing. King E, okay. King C6, King E5, and that's an exclam move as well. This leads to a winning queen endgame. If we had played E7, this would actually have lost us the game. It's a double question mark at this point. King D7. And black would win for black here. He could actually, even after we take here, he decides to leave the pawn on the board, since in some lines it would check on E. So this would actually not be good for us, but we went down the E5, which is the correct line. G3. E7, King D7, King F6, G, E6, EC6 check, King C7, Queen, Queen, King D, B, and then C7 is actually winning here, because there's no way you can get any checks in. Black would run out of checks, so the first one would be King A1, and then King G6. Queen G1, and King H7, and then there's really no more checks. And if we took the pawn here, C equals queen, Queen H6 check, King takes F5, and there's really no more checks. He's actually ran out of checks already. Well, if you did, the only problem with doing this here is that he could take and then take our C7 pawn. He could then take our C7 pawn. So I'm thinking this might actually, that's actually I think a losing move. It's nothing against, oops. What's actually the winning move? Let me see. What did I... Let's promote, where's the C pawn one? I like this one better. I'm going to promote this one. So you're going to have to, let me see, is this the one we want? Yeah, we want this one here. Yeah. But the other one, isn't that kind of odd? That actually would lose for you. It's odd, but it's the truth. You just wouldn't have enough time, and he would be able to take your only pawn that you have desired to keep. and we'll pick this up tomorrow. We got another big one that we'll be going over. This one is Jeremy Silman as Black. So this would be a Jeremy Silman game that we're going to be going over. So, you got any questions before I log off? Yes, what is the question? Oh, I'm going to be on 2 hours from probably, instead of my normal 9, I'm going to be on 7. Instead of my normal 9, I'm going to be on at 7. Around 7 to 7:20, somewhere around there. I'm able to stream a little earlier now because of, when I have a lot of classes and stuff and all that stuff. And so I'm able to do that. So, 7's, you can check in around 7:30. Okay. A PST? Oh, okay. PST. 7, yeah. Somewhere around there, 7:30. Because sometimes it takes me a second to get all the, it takes that a little bit of time to get everything set up, so you have to bear with me if it may take a second. My computer sometimes has an issue. Okay, thank you. But yeah, I appreciate that you all log on. Yeah, so it's like sometimes computers can be a pain. Sometimes it works for me really good, like when I'm trying to put all the games in and all the puzzles and stuff, but then sometimes it doesn't, and then I have to wait for a little bit for it to do good. But that's the thing we have to remember is, what, have fun, enjoy chess. That's what chess is about. When it stops being fun is when it's work and it's not something you enjoy. And it's funny, the Lord said that, what, we have to sweat sweat of our brow, but guess what, that doesn't mean we can't enjoy what we do. So you have to always remember that, like what Yasser once said, every long journey begins with one small step. So the first step is every day you put in a little bit of time in chess. You don't miss a day. It's one of those things you have to every day put in the time, and you'll get better. We become what we think about. So if we think positive thoughts and thoughts about that we can do it and that chess is fun, it's not work. Yes, it is difficult, to learn some of the puzzles and stuff, but when you simulate it into your life, you'll see that it'll help with your school, it'll help with every area that you're in, and it'll help with your job too. And Bruce Lee said that he didn't fear the person who practiced 10,000 individual kicks, but he feared the person who practiced one kick 10,000 times, because when they had their tactical kick down, it was over if you practiced one kick 10,000 times. But if you did 10,000 different kicks, you wouldn't have as precise of a kick, and it wouldn't be right on the money when you needed it to save your life. especially in the chess game, if you don't understand your end game, you're not going to be able to save the king's life, or maybe even turn a draw into a win if your opponent errors in the end game. You might turn a loss into a win. One move can actually change the tide of a battle. And we what we also look at is, don't give up, get up. That's what we always talk about. That it's not about when you fall down. It's what do you do when you fall down, and that's where you treasure your victories and learn from your losses. That's where that comes from. And remember that mistakes do not define who you are. It's how you handle the mistake that defines who you are. Do you get upset with yourself? Or do you say, I didn't see that before. Now I know that, and I'm going to work and improve so that I can simulate that into my play and end up getting my norms that I need to be either in FM, Candidate Master, IM, and GM, somewhere around there. And let me see. Oh yeah, Bruce Lee said also that the human potential that we have is infinite. We just have to believe that we can do it. That goes back to what you believe is what will happen. Our minds are wonderfully made by the Lord, and we just have to be willing to access them and kind of tell that voice that says, you can't do it, tell that voice, yes we can. And Chess Cruncher believes in you, and the Lord believes in you. And so we know you can do it. And you know what? One sad thing that happens with talented players is hardworking chess players. They may not be talented in the area of chess, but hard work will beat talent because talent won't work. There's a phrase that I saw on Facebook. And that's a sad thing, but talented players take for granted the gift that they have, and it comes so easy that what comes easy will be lost easily. And that's why you have to always remember that it's a gift and a talent the Lord is giving you, and He entrusts you with it. So don't take it lightly. And you know what? One more phrase, and then I'll say adieu, is this. Remember to always bring your Grandmaster glasses with you. Always bring your Grandmaster glasses, so that when you sit down, you can calculate like a Grandmaster. And that just comes with practice, and it's so worth it. If you're a couple norms away from Grandmaster, go for it. Put in the time, get that, and then you can give back and start a podcast of your own and share with your family and all that. And so we have to always remember that every good and perfect gift comes from above. So we have to always, when a victory happens, yes, it's great that we were able to win, but we have to give glory to where glory is due, the Lord. And I want you to remember what you do when you're studying and you kind of get those thoughts that I want to do something else. You could say, I'm a chess cruncher. Chess cruncher hangs up your coat, they hang up their hat, they sit down and study when most won't. A chess cruncher does, and that makes all the difference. And that helps me when I'm studying sometimes, when I want to not study, because you know what, studying when you get up to a certain level is not a easy thing to do, but it's so worth it. And I do love chess, but sometimes our mind tells us that we don't, but we actually do. And so just keep that in the forefront, that you know what, stay focused, keep moving forward. And we've learned that moving forward sometimes is a piece moving back, because you could protect a piece like a pawn. A knight moving back is beautiful in an endgame for protecting past pawns. Knights behind past pawns that protect the pawns are unbeatable. But that would be, in most chess players' minds, a moving back move. No, that's a move that moves us forward, because it allows for our king then to be able to walk over, because the pawn is now protected. So our plan has moved forward. And I'll leave you with that. As Wesley So says, for the Lord Jesus, and as I say, God bless. And I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. And I trust that you'll come back and join us for some more a Marshall game and some puzzles, and then we'll do some endgame, and we'll have some fun learning chess and improving. And always, always remember, give honor to the Lord Jesus, for he is the one who's worthy, for that he gave us our minds. So you know what? We have to always remember what Hannibal Smith said. I love ending with this. He says, he has two things. I love it when a plan comes together. You can kind of say that in your mind when you kind of win, but don't say it out loud. And when you solve a puzzle, you could say that in your mind that says, I love it when a plan comes together. And then the second one is, always remember, don't think 3 moves ahead of your opponent, and make sure to predict what your opponent's going to do and plan for it. Okay, great job, Team Chess Cruncher. Hoorah, be blessed, and always have fun and enjoy chess, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye bye.